Alright, so out here working on this 99 CRV today, and this is the left front of the driver's side front door, 4-door CRV. And I've got the door handle is toasted. I don't know if that's in the video or not, but let me look here. There we go. Here it is right here. This door handle is all busted. So we're going to take that apart, and I've got another one to go in there. I'm going to take this door, inner door, all apart and get this thing, the new door handle on it. So basically you need a Phillips screwdriver and a 10mm and probably a pick or something. You know, one of these little picks like this. I've got a green one. I like this green one a lot better. Mac Tool one. It works really good. Alright, so let's get this thing on the way to being taken apart. Raise it up a little bit. You'll see some of what I'm doing here. Got to pop this little triangular thing off, take that off. And then there's a push pin style plastic screw here with a square hole like a rivet. So take that off. Go ahead and take this thing off. Okay, take it out and put it in here, because it's going to fall off somewhere and you're not going to be happy if you lose that sucker. And so as you go here, try not to kill myself. Got a screw in here. Now this screw here has a shoulder on it. Do it without losing the thing. It's got a wee bit of a shoulder right here. So that's where that screw goes, and this thing here just pops forward like that. You kick the back out, and when you kick the back out, you can see the rod. So you pop that rod, the clip off of that rod like this, and the rod comes out, and then the whole thing comes out. Then you can flip it over, flip it around, till you see this, unplug that little plug there. That's how that works. Alright, and you got 3 screws, 1, 2, 3. This thing, it gets loose like it's going to come off, but it doesn't. There's a screw on the inside at the top that holds it. I don't know why. And too many times have I taken things like this apart where someone has just grabbed this and pulled it off after taking the three long screws out, thinking that it was just supposed to come off. So I would think that it should just come off, but Honda has done otherwise. So there's one. All 3 of these are they're the same. This one's at a funny angle up here at the front. Once you get it going and get it started, keep tension on it and stay on that screw the whole time, because once you get off of it, it wants to get away from you, and it'll get wobbly in that hole, and then you'll have a tough time getting back into the screw. So this door is going to be stuck on there really good. Going to have to give it a nice pull to get it out. Now we've got a radio, a speaker screen here. Just pop it off from the bottom. It's got a couple screws in it. Now I like to take the speaker off. You don't have to take the speaker off. You can get to the screws otherwise, but I like to take the speaker off because the speaker is kind of heavy and unwieldy, and I don't want to damage it. Because sometimes you work on people's cars and they've got fancy speakers. So just keep an eye on that. just unclip the plug for that and pull it out. Sometimes they come out easy. Sometimes they're quite a bit of a chore to get loose. Been there in the heat for a long time. Sucker's stuck in there good, boy. Whew. All right, so there's that one. It's out. We got the 3 screws. Now these 3 screws that hold this in here will be shiny. They will not be black. Just 3 short, shiny screws like that, with just a blunt end on them. Come on. Boy, they meant for this thing to stay on there. I tell you what, got plenty of screws on it, so that's good. And this door handle and this whole door panel it's in beautiful shape from 1999. Still works good, except for the fact that the door handle fell apart long ago. Look there, you little rascal. Might have been. And pull all those out, and they'll be plenty tight. Make sure I got this one loose. There we go. A couple more turns. There we go. All right, and then that comes off, and you slide it up a little bit to get it off of that door pin, and that's it. There's no wires. There's no surprises. There's nothing. That's it. And then you take this thing off here. It's got 2 screws out. Now the only reason I take this one off is because I'm weird and I like to preserve this ratty old plastic business that's back here and not tear it all up. Imagine that. But usually what you'll get is if somebody's ever been into the store, well, they had already just ripped this old plastic stuff out of the way. But I always pull it up from the bottom and just kind of tuck it in somewhere so that it's something you can get to. All right, so let me see if I can get you to look in this hole with me. Now you look through here and you'll see my finger in there. Yeah, probably not. Anyway, inside there's a rod. You can't see it. Anyway, there's a rod in there. You look through the hole and you'll see the rod. And so it's the same as the door handle up here. You flip that little pin across. And typically, sometimes you do it with a finger, sometimes not. But let's see if this will go up in there. I don't know if you can see it. I'm just holding the camera in there and looking up. So there we are. That's good enough. So there's your door handle. We're going to take this rod loose here and take that whole thing apart. Pause this for a moment. All right, so you got 2 screws in there. Got one of them out. Got one here, a little short. Like that bolt. I'm saying screw. There's another bolt. 2 right here, and it's the 2 on the back of that door handle. It's one here and one there. Now this rod that goes through this hole inside there it's pretty hard to get out. What you'll have to do is get in there with a pick or something and prise this thing loose. I just break them off and get it off with some pliers or something. And this clip, you'll see a little clip here. Well, in the old one, you'll take the clip out and remove the key and then put this in the door panel assembly. You'll put it in there and get the key and click the key in from the inside. So I'll kind of try to demo that the best I can. It's really hard to show most of this stuff with a camera. But that's our 2 bolts. So then get around from the other side and maybe take you along on that side. All right, so this is about where you're working on it from the outside, and you get this thing out enough, you get it out far enough, that is, kind of wiggle this thing out. There we go. You get it out far enough so you could reach some of these clips and things in here. And see, we can get to this clip here, and it's all this stuff is all busted up. So what I do is I just break it off, break that thing off, not mess, just not mess with it. I just chop it, okay? And then this other part, it's got the little rod right here holding it in. So get it just another, probably get some needle nose pliers. Those pliers in there. Really hard to get a good angle with the camera on a lot of this, but I don't know if I can see that. Let me point at it. All right, so right here is a little clip. Got that clip pop loose. Slide that rod out. If it's in a bind, it won't come out. Alright, here we go. Got it out finally. Alright, so now it has that little clip assembly that holds the lock. You turn it like this and it comes right out. And what you're going to want to do is there's a clip in here. You pop that little clip loose and this whole assembly comes off. See if I got something I can pop it with. This is the old one. Not too worried about it. Usually what people take these apart for is because these little clips here break and you can't use it, can't unlock or lock it or something. Just get rid of that clip. You keep it for a spare if you want, but this whole lock comes out. There we go. That's it. So this is part is trash. And so we'll get the new one and we'll slide that new one on from the outside and click this lock in through from the inside. I hope that that's making sense to everybody. This thing here, I don't waste any time on it. You could spend all day trying to get this thing off, and it is a tough little fella. So I think this is the original Honda stuff that's on here. It's great. It's still connected. Still connected. Not want to cooperate any at all. The new one. Okay, so this is what the new one looks like. Hopefully everybody can see that. We don't need this clip that's on here. The original clip jump. Get rid of that. Thing is giving me a heck of a time. So we can click that on. That. Push that rod over like that. slide that little feller in without closing the door, obviously. Now we've got this, we just need to hold it from the outside. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you what happens. So this right here is what it looks like on the inside. This is the rod I broke off. And this is the key cylinder that I took off of it. Okay, so you get this key cylinder, try to set it on there the way it's supposed to sit. It'll wiggle around and it'll move and whatever, you can slide it back into position. That's how it's supposed to sit, like that. This goes towards the outside, so see, this bolt hole goes up. So when you click it in here like this, you'll click it into the door handle. Sorry, I don't know if anybody saw that. There we go. All right, so it just goes in like that and clicks in. Okay, and then you can reach up and put this rod in. Put the rod in the hole and swing that around and click it into position. Now this is the best way to show you how to do this. Now currently the way it sits on the vehicle is that it's in the door panel like this, just with nothing on it. And it's got that little metal clip on there, remember? The little metal clip is there. So all you got to do is get this and put it in position and click it in. And that's what I'm about to do right now. And of course you can't see it because you don't have to get a little tiny little camera or something to stick it in there. And well, we don't need to do that. I showed you. All right, so I got that sucker done. Now one thing that I will remind people is that on the Hondas, when the door is open, you can't lock the door. So you have to close the door all the way to lock it, so don't freak out if the door doesn't do what you want it to do. If the door locks. So if you want to test it before you put it back together, roll the window down, close the door, and then you can test the lock and the latch and all that business. But yeah, that's what it looks like. Everything works just fine. It's all done. So right now it's just a matter of putting all this stuff back on there. And if you want to stay along for the ride, you can stay along, or you can be finished with the video. Now usually what it is somebody needs to see a certain part, so I'll go ahead and let this record all the way to the end so that someone can see what I did. So you missed it when I took it apart. It's a fairly easy door to deal with. These all screw into plastic anchors, so they don't need to be crazy tight. Just make sure that they don't rattle, fall out or anything. And of course, this plastic is not perfect. It's shriveled up a little bit, and it's hanging down some. Probably get some grease. Always keep a little bit of grease to grease things and grease these windows. Window mechanism here. A little bit in there. Can't really get to the other one. Have to roll it up a little bit.